Welcome again to another IronCAD tutorial on Too Tall Toby's practice models. This one is dated 8/10/2024. This is a simple jig, very simple model to do in IronCAD. Again, we'll build this without any sketches, just using our standard drag and drop shapes and our handles to size everything. So basically the key things are we got 110 length, 109 width, 30 height on the base, and then we have our height here for the 65 from the bottom location, and then we have a little cutout here that's got a 15 millimeter, or this is in inches, oh this is millimeter, sorry, 15 millimeter size here, and a 10-inch depth from the top. So let's go ahead and do this model. Very simple. In IronCAD we'll build it really quickly, so this won't be a very long video. So let's start off with an extrude here, and again we know we're in millimeters, so we're gonna go ahead and type in these values as we mentioned. The width of this is 109, and we're gonna go ahead and set the length to 110, and we'll set that height value to 30. That will give us our starting points. Next, we can do a couple different ways of approaching this. We can drag and drop another block on here. We can pull this top face up and extrude and adjust it. Either way works, so I'll just start with another extrude feature, and I'm just going to drop on this point back here, and I'll simply just align this back one by holding my shift key down and pulling that, and then right-clicking on our side handles here to do a symmetrical size, and shift to snap to that. Next, we can do the sizing, which is we know the distance from the bottom, so we can just right-click on the top handle at a distance from point. We pick our bottom edge, and that value, as I mentioned, was 65. And we know the thickness of this is 20 millimeters as well. So that will give us our overall shape for that. Next, we'll do the cutout, and we'll do the same thing, basically the same operations here. Notice when you drop onto the shape, it can give you a different orientation when you drop on an edge. So notice this one's extruding in this direction, and this is based on our view direction. So it currently sees that this is the main viewing direction. I'm going to delete that, and that's how I rotate down just a little bit. Now if I drop on that edge, notice it'll extrude in a different direction. So that's a kind of a nice little handy tip there if you're ever using IronCAD. That's how it drops when you drop on an edge. On a face it always does normal, but on an edge it has to determine which way to go. So in this case we dropped on an edge. I aligned the back handle to our face, and I'll do the same thing, our symmetrical here. Doesn't really matter, we can pull it all the way through. But we can pull that there, and then we can set our depth on this guy, which we said was 10. And our thickness on this, since we're already aligned to the inside face, is 15 in that direction. So that gives us our cutout there. And the last thing we need to do is just add blends to this. So I'm just going to select down to our edge level. So we go Part, Feature, Edge. And then we can select both edges holding the Shift key down, right-click, Blend Edges. In our case, this is set to 20, so let's type in 20 and hit Enter. That'll give you the preview. Hit Enter again, it'll apply the command. So that will give us the overall shape of our model. And the last thing we had to do is our holes. So one thing I'll do is drag and drop a hole right onto the center point of this face. And we know the diameter of this hole. If we select on that, it is, let me look for that. We are at 15 millimeters for those. And we do know that the distance from the top here is 15. So I'm just going to turn on our triball, and I'm going to right click and say edit distance from point. And we're going to set that to 15. And that puts us in the right location. So since we're in the center of this part, and we need to have two of these, and it gives the dimension 70 millimeters apart, this is a nice little handy trick on the triball as well. But we're going to right click and drag this to one side, and we're going to say link here, or link or copy, either one will do the same, except for one's a linked relationship. But we're going to do link here, and we're going to have one shape. And why I'm saying one, not two here, because we're going to actually just type in half the distance of 70, which is 35. And tell it to repeat in the opposite direction. So we're going to repeat that in the opposite direction, hit OK. That will put the hole on the other side. We can hit escape to turn off the triball, and we delete that original shape. So that's a unique thing here as well. This is not like a pattern feature. This is not related to that shape, so we can delete any one of those, even the parent, and the other ones still remain. So it's a really nice handy feature in IronCAD. So now we have our two holes, and if we select down to the face level on both of those holes, you can see that the distance down here at the bottom is 70 millimeters. So that was a nice little trick that we can do with the tribal. Now we can go in here and type in our mass density, which is 2700, and we'll just tab out of that field, and that should give you a mass of about 1100 for that part. So a very simple part to build in IronCAD. Again, everything's done in IronCAD with, in this case, with all drag and drop features. We didn't have to use any sketches to do any of this. We just simply built this and multiple features here to do that. Of course, we could use a sketch to build that kind of L shape if you want in a sketch mode, and then extrude it one direction and add the blends. That's another way to approach it, but I just wanted to show you a way to do this with just standard features and drag and drop. hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks.